Simplifying your writing is actually easier than it seems like. The way to simplify your writing is just
Welcome back to Land the Talk. I am your host, Robin Nathaniel, and all the way from Romania, we got my main man, Norbert Benedekffy, about to drop some jewels about ghostwriting, but also about how you can grow your following on LinkedIn as a speaker or a nonprofit. We are just ready for this conversation. Norbert, thank you for joining me this morning.
hey man, you actually nailed my family name. So I'm pretty much impressed.
Benedekffy!
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for
I
having me.
guess I guess I'm getting an invite to dinner.
And some beers for sure.
Man, that would be great. I bet Romania has some amazing beers. Amazing beers.
Yeah, we actually do. Most people, like I have people from the US who I've been speaking with, and the first thing they come up with is, you have Dracula and all the castles and all that, but that's not it. That's just actually for the tourists. So Romania is more popular. We have great food, actually, great drinks, and yeah, like we actually have a pretty strong beer history.
Very
So
nice, very nice. Well, I have to when I'm in town, I'm gonna stop by. Well, listen, Norbert, I know we got a bunch of folks who are definitely interested to learn more about what you do. I found you on LinkedIn. You're absolutely crushing it, and I knew that you would bring value to this community. So talk to me a little bit about ghostwriting, what it means for folks who are not familiar with it, and how it could help people grow their nonprofits or their speaking careers or just business in general.
Uh, well, ghostwriting is you have copywriting, which is actually writing copy that is meant to sell something or to have people take an action after they read it. It's also called direct response copywriting, and then you have ghostwriting. But ghostwriting is all about educating the audience. So instead of having copy on a website that gets you to buy whatever, it's more about educating people. And what I do is I work with entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs, or pretty much just business owners who work in the education space, and I write their emails. Uh, Now the reason for me having a job is actually that these people often have less time to do everything by themselves. So when you're juggling marketing, operations, you do your business. For example, coaches have lots of calls. So I have people I have to actually kick in the ass over WhatsApp to review something, and I'm like pushing them. So I'm proactively trying to get them, keep them on track. So I basically take their ideas and I write emails for them and help them make more money by actually articulating their ideas. So, in briefly, that's what I do.
Great. And talk to me a little bit about the course, 7-day course type email sequence, because I was recently invited to go down one of those paths, and it was amazing. Not only did it bring me a ton of value, but just as a marketer and as a business owner, I'm analyzing the flow of it, and it was very effective on how it impacted me. So I could only imagine what it could do for my clients. Talk to me about those 7-day courses, the power in them, and how maybe folks can leverage that.
Um, these courses are, I like to call them educational email courses, or EECs. Um, and like the power in them is pretty simple, but most people fail to realize this. Ghostwriting is about education, and the EEC, or educational email course, is basically the same. The goal of them is to have people, you actually take people from the stage of being unaware to the stage of being problem aware, and all the way to the point where they feel the pain. And let me give you an example, because if somebody's listening for the first time, we go like, this dude's talking shit. So just an example, if you have a problem in your life, let's say headaches, um, headaches can be caused by so many symptoms. So all the way from dehydration to whatever, like blood not flowing right through your neck or muscles, and like you can have like 10 problems causing headaches. If you don't know which problem is it, how can you solve it? So for example, if I'm a ghostwriter, I write copy that people understand and that people can um, be inspired from. And if I wanna explain this to a CEO who has in his headline something like elevate your brand, which means it can mean absolutely nothing or absolutely everything, but nobody knows what that means. Or transform your business. Transform can be transform it to being worse, right? Uh, so if I want to tell them, I would go into topics like why simplifying your writing can bring you more clients, or why. So they can be topics of why, what should you do, why should you do it. So it's actually educating them on the problem that you're solving.
So I'm a business owner. I'm hearing you and I'm like, man, I might want to try that, but this guy, he doesn't know about, running a cement business. Like how can he ghostwrite that for me if he doesn't know the industry? What would you say to those business owners that might be interested in seeking services like this, but have concerns that the writer is not aware of their industry? How do you handle that?
I love it. And actually, I had a client from the US, and I told you I'm specializing in education businesses, but I had a client who I really loved from the first moment we jumped on a call. So he seemed like the ideal client. The problem was that he had a spirits trading company, so selling barrels, whiskey, from whiskeys to all the way to, I think they had something else too, but I was focusing on that. And it's something that I had no idea about. So it's just the case you were asking about. Um, and let me tell you that the less I know about something, the simpler I can write about it. Um, a founder or a CEO can think that it's a bad thing for me to have like, knowledge is power. But if you have the knowledge about something, if you already know something, you can't actually unlearn that, and that affects your writing. Let me give you an example. Doctors, they go to med school, they spend 5, 7, 10 years learning about that, and when they get in front of a patient, when I go to doctors, I'm always asking, okay, but what does that mean? Okay, why is that? Okay, what will happen if? So I bombard them with questions because I have no idea what they are talking about. They think people people have the same knowledge as them, or that they need to express themselves using all these terms that they learn in school, because that makes them professional. If you can't explain your thoughts to a fifth grader, it's more probable that you don't know it as much as you should know the topic yourself.
That's good.
So
That's good. Yeah, because I know in the world of copywriting, in my day work, I work with a pretty big marketing team, and that's one thing we always are repeating to new people who come onto the team is that make it a little more simple that a fifth grader could understand it. And I think that that's something, especially when you're getting into very complex niches, folks almost feel like the dexterity of the complexity of the conflict is,
Yeah.
like they want people to know like they know words. When in all actuality, a person who doesn't understand all the way needs to have it broken down. So I love that you mentioned that. Let's dig into that a little bit more though, Norbert. So I'm this same business owner. Okay, you convinced me you can do my cement company. I trust you, Norbert. We had a beer. You had a whiskey client. I trust you, but I can't afford you. Can you just give me some tips on how I could do this myself? Because many of the folks out here might just be starting their businesses, not ready to invest anything. Do you have any tips that you could give folks if they wanted to make their writing more simple? How could they do that? How could they do that?
So is it more about simplifying the writing, or it's more about building an educational email course? Which should I tackle first?
I think you start with simple and then maybe go right into the educational email course.
Okay, so, well, simplifying your writing is actually easier than it seems like, but this blockage that I talked about, which is called the curse of knowledge, can actually um, like you can be it can be hard, but it can be also easy. The way to simplify your writing is just take, like, how I do it is like I actually prep the page before I start writing. So for example, if I have a client and I need to write him a 10 email sequence, I actually plan it first, so I know what I'm writing, why I'm doing that. And yeah, we can go into an educational email course. So let's say I have, and I will launch mine soon, so I can give it as an example. Uh, People don't know what email systems they need. So I planned an educational email course teaching them why you should have an email sequence system set up. What should you be aware about? Why should you care? How does this affect your business? And how this can help you scale your business. So I put all my ideas onto a paper. I just open Google Docs and I just throw it there. Uh, and then I ask myself questions. Okay, like if I'm talking about the educational email course, what are the top five topics someone should need to hear in order to actually get the value from it, to understand its power, right? So it's this. These are the same questions I that give me the answer for the content that I went through back when I was learning it. And I said, wow. Or I was like, okay, so that's it. So then I have these topics in bullet points or headlines. And then I ask myself again, okay, like if I'm talking about the first topic, what should I expand on? Or what are my arguments that I should expand on for them to get my point? And then I just complete it, and then I just write them. So I go, okay, so the first one is this, these are the arguments. Okay, how should I get my point across? I write those down. And after I have my first email, I also go paragraph by paragraph, go through them. And this is the best question someone can ask themselves if they are unsure. Does this sentence has have two meanings? If it's a yes, it's not good. Like for example, if I say transform your business, that can mean, I don't know, make a profit of 10K per month or lose 5K in a month. Like both qualify as transform. So that's not good. You want to delete that and you want to add the thing that can have only a single meaning. So get a client that pays you 10K a month or get a client who pays you 50K a month is different from elevate your business. So I think I talked about both of the topics.
Struggling to find time for social media? Unsure how to make it work for your brand? Do you feel like you're getting left behind? Guess what? We help busy leaders like you take the guesswork out of social media. From full service solutions and fractional strategy support to award winning video production and quarterly audits, we handle the heavy lifting so you don't have to. Imagine having a social media presence that drives results without sacrificing your time or energy. We're only accepting a few clients this year, so don't wait. Visit bit.ly/Robin for hire to hop on a free call to see if we'd be a good fit for each other. Again, that's bit.ly/Robin for hire. That's good. That's really good. That's really good. So we'll shift gears a little bit. So I know that you, in our green room discussion when we were hanging out, 5 a.m. here Eastern time. For you, it's about noon in Romania. We were
Yeah.
kicking it, and we talked a little bit about your journey and you when you started out doing a bunch of things and then kind of niching down. This conversation consistently comes up with me with clients, it comes up with friends. This is just a hot topic, and it's been for the last couple of years. I know that there was a whole movement with Gary Vee to be the niche, and then there's a new wave of like, we really need to focus on niching down if we want to get that ideal client to commit and get and trust us. So I wanted to get your take for a new entrepreneur, someone who's pursuing something new, but they want to do everything. They have, I don't know if you guys have this in Romania, but we have diners here. And when you go to the diners to sit down and eat, these diners have like 5-page menus with everything on it. But then we have some specialty shops where they just make chicken. So talk to me about that. Do you think people should niche down, or do you think it's really up to them if they want to be a generalist?
Um, Look, I struggled for 14 months on LinkedIn to actually find my niche, to find what I want to talk about. So it was just a bad time. Then I niched down, and I had my first inbound lead in 24 days. My first inbound call booked in 32 days, I think. So my point is simple. Just a takeaway, and then I'm gonna expand on this. If you're just starting out, take one problem for one audience and have one solution for that. So, for example, if you want to solve, you can be, let's say, a copywriter. You want to write copy for, I don't know, medical companies who are selling services, for example. So, like, you want to niche down. And the reason for it is super simple. As you say, with restaurants, we have that, by the way. But for example, I had a steak at a restaurant which serves, as you said, like you can have chicken, soup, everything, right? And they actually, I wanted it. I wanted the steak medium. It wasn't. So, so they just messed it up. But then when I just wanted to try out the restaurant. I had no idea how they cook it, but whenever I want to eat a good steak, I go to the place which does only steaks or is specialized on the meat, and I'm willing to pay a higher price for that. And it's the same with everything. Last summer, I wanted to change my phone's battery. I have an iPhone. We know how sensible iPhones are. So I was like, okay, so I can go to a generalist service that can change my battery, and maybe I will lose my water resistance. Maybe they will, I don't know, the software will have bugs and my phone will just, it just won't work the way it used to. Or I can go to a service that specializes in iPhones. I pay a premium, obviously, but I know the job's done and it's done well. So I picked the second one because the thing is, and what made me realize this is that people are either going for quality or price. I'll say this again. If you're going to buy something, you're either looking for the cheapest price or the best quality. Nobody, nobody will go to your shop, or nobody will go on the internet looking for quality, and they will be like, hmm, I will choose the second cheaper, or sorry, the second most expensive. No, if the best quality is the most expensive one, I'll choose that one because I want quality. I don't care about the price. If I will care about the price, I won't go hunting for quality because I know that I can't afford that, right? So it's just a simple mind shift. And since I realized this, I was like, yeah, this is why some clients are willing to pay the higher price and some will negotiate. And those who negotiate, and now I will tie this back to the awareness levels, are probably not aware of the values that you bring to the table.
That's good. That's a really good take. You had a couple of nuggets there. I really like the quality of price, and I really like one problem, one audience, one solution. Because I find that, and this is something that I'm always quite transparent on this show, is that because I can do so much in my niche, I have a bunch of offers that I can give people, and sometimes I just want to meet people where they are. But in that, sometimes it causes me distress because now it's almost like we're using the restaurant, right? So now
Yeah.
I have all of the equipment for chicken to make chicken, but I'm trying to also make the steak too. And I don't even have the right pan. I don't have a grill.
Yeah.
So I try to put stuff together, and maybe the quality of that is good, but it could be better if I just focus. So that's something that I think is a discipline play. Talk to me about that. What kind of discipline did it take from you being a generalist for as long as you were, and then niching down to just be a ghostwriter? How did you develop that discipline?
Um, I think it's more like a mindset shift because to be disciplined, you have to have a goal. Because discipline actually means taking in short-term pain for long-term pleasure. Uh, so how I realized this was the same way. Like I was thinking about, I was a generalist. I did from chatbots to Facebook ads to strategies to email marketing to like all you can imagine, all you can imagine. And when I started talking on LinkedIn, I was super confused because I was talking about everything, but then I put myself in my audience's shoes and I was like, okay, but if I see someone talking about ads the next week, right? Talking about, I don't know, effective copy, and the following week talking about, I don't know, whatever, think about anything you want. They won't know me for a single thing. Like they will know me as the guy that always speaks about something, but that's it. Like a generalist phone service, for example. They do all kinds of stuff. But if I'll start talking about one thing and one thing only, they will be like, okay, Norbert does email marketing, he does ghostwriting for founders, he writes emails, and that's what he's talking about, and that is what he is specializing in, and that's his expertise. So if I want that, or if I, let's say, if I talk with someone who needs that, he will be the first guy that I will remember for a recommendation or anything like that. So I think this is the mindset shift people have to realize, that if you, and you know what the best thing is about it, clients actually, like, once you convince someone that you're good in doing whatever you want to do for a living, they will ask for more. So if I sign a client to write his emails, and he will realize, oh, I actually need to write someone to write my website copy or to write my LinkedIn copy or whatever, who will be the first guy he reaches out to? It's me, because I already do that. And then, like, this is the reason I told you that I think that first thing to do is to niche down, narrow down, find that thing that you love doing, you're good at, the world needs, and the world is willing to pay money for. So this is the ikigai, Japanese. I think you should be familiar with that. And from there, start locking in doing that. And once you have reached your maximum clients, for example, I'm capped at 5 clients. I can't take physically more than 5 clients, and I don't have 5 clients yet. So if you're watching, uh, but once I get to the 5 clients I'm looking after or I want to work with, then I need to decide. There are two options. I can hire someone to help me out grow my business and do that one thing that I wanted to or that I started with, or the second is to sell more services to the existing clients, which can sound easier because you have the trust, you have something that works for them already, like you don't have to prove yourself. You can be like, hey, I have this service, I will help you do this, that, and the other, this is the cost. And they will be like, yeah, well, we know you, we trust you. They will ask 2 to 3 questions, and if they like the idea, they will say, okay, yeah, let's do that. So this is the main reason I advise everyone to just narrow down, focusing on one thing, be known for one thing, and then you can actually make money and go all the way. Like stars are the limit, or the
Okay.
sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. I love that.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I'm respectful of your time. So I do have an important question I want to ask you as a copyright, as a ghostwriter,
Yes.
before we finish up. So obviously we are in the age of AI. There are people out there who will say like, why would I get a ghostwriter? I can just get Chat GPT to write it for me. Talk to me about AI in your work, how it impacts your work, and if folks are just relying on AI, any suggestions, tips, or commentary for them.
Um, yeah. Well, if somebody thinks AI can do the same job as I do, they should go with it. So I don't want to convince anyone to, I don't know, change their minds or something. But for those who are high achievers and they want to learn, the way with AI is like this. I also use AI, so I use it daily. It helps me write more. Um, but with AI, it's like this. You have to have 10%, like talking in percentages. 10% is you have to know what you want from the AI. So you have to have the prompt. Most people are like, write me an email to sell this product, whatever, and it comes up with super generic stuff. My prompts are 2 to 3 pages. So like I have lots of things added there, so the AI knows what I'm looking for. Then the AI will do 80% of the work, right? The hard lifting, the boring stuff, as many call it. But then you have to have the rest of the 10%. And the rest of the 10% is still you. Like you have to know, is this the thing that I'm looking for? And if it's not, what I want modified in it, should I prompt the AI again so it modifies it, or should I modify it myself? You can go both ways. But the point is that AI, they say AI will replace everyone. AI will replace only those who don't catch up with it or who don't keep up with it. And I also seen copywriters who hate on AI, and I think that's wrong. And the reason for it is, look, my goal is to get content, to get value to my clients or my clients' audiences and my audience. So the more I can share my ideas, the more I can articulate my ideas in emails, LinkedIn posts, and whatever other channels, the more I can help people. And that's my goal. And AI helps me achieve that. Those who hate on AI, their goal is to sit down 8 hours and write. So I'm asking you, why should I, like, the first one that I told you, I want to help people. So my goal is to help others. This is why I'm writing. And AI helps me achieve that goal. And the other ones are thinking about themselves. and their I don't know, daily routines and all that, and they disrespect others because they fear, they have a fear of getting left behind, because now it's not only those who um, are writers or can be writers or can write their copies who actually know how to approach writing, but they can be also, for example, like managers, like those who can articulate their ideas, know what they are looking for, have the right knowledge. They don't have to do the manual work anymore. um, and yeah, like this is the difference, and this is my take on this.
Well, that is a really good take, sir. I appreciate you. Listen, I want to leave some time for you to talk about how folks can get in contact with you if they want to jump on a call or learn more about your services. The floor is yours.
Oh yeah, like I'm launching my own educational email course either today or on Monday. Not sure when this is coming out, but they can get in touch there to see what this is all about. They can find me on my LinkedIn. I'm gonna remove the actual book a call link from my profile in a few days as soon as I launched my website, because what I found to be true is that people, like, I have booked calls from people who are not ready to work with me, uh, and people who I can't help. I don't want to waste their times, and I don't want to waste mine, because that's super important to me. But they can kind of get in touch with me on LinkedIn. Just send me a DM. I'm easy to talk to, so that's okay. And they can find every information on my LinkedIn, including my website and yeah, anything else. So LinkedIn's where I'm at.
All right, Norbert, this has been an absolute pleasure, sir. When I come to Romania, we'll definitely have to go grab steak, and we'll make sure that it's cooked medium.
The beer's on me.
Sounds
So
good.
if you're coming this way, let me know, and we can have some beers and some good steaks.
Looking forward to it. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, man. Talk soon.